Well, I was at the LGBT Center, the Sacramento LGBT Center, early this morning, looking at SCOTUS blog, and the Defense of Marriage Act, Windsor versus United States, came out first. And that decision, honestly, I expected the Supreme Court to rule that the people who were defending the law, the members of the House of Representatives, did not have standing. I was completely wrong on that point because the court ruled that they did have standing. However, Justice Kennedy, a native Sacramentan and professor at McGeorge School of Law, actually here in Sacramento, wrote the decision, and it was the most amazing, most far-reaching gay rights decision in U.S. Supreme Court history. He went blow by blow about the inequalities that same-sex couples face because of DOMA, and the benefits they're deprived of, and how when DOMA passed, it was meant to codify moral opposition to homosexuality. And he even said that it also demeans the children raised by these couples because it tells the world that their family is not equal. He understood the issue perfectly and went blow by blow and gave the most far-reaching, greatest opinion in the history of the Supreme Court, in my opinion.
You seem jazzed about it.
I am ecstatic. The greatest thing about this is that now same-sex couples who are legally married likely will have all of the benefits that the federal government accords married couples. In fact, just a couple hours after the Windsor decision, a federal judge in New York, actually stayed the proceedings to deport a foreign national married in a same-sex relationship here in the United States because DOMA has now been declared unconstitutional. And that's just today. The effects will be far-reaching in the future. The Justice Department, President Obama gave a directive saying that the Justice Department would not defend the Defense of Marriage Act because he concluded that it was unconstitutional because it discriminated against gay and lesbian couples. So in the stead of the Department of Justice, the bipartisan legal advisory group of the House of Representatives, and I use the quotes because it's 5 members, the Speaker, the Majority Leader, the Majority Whip, the Minority Leader, and the Minority Whip, which means Boehner, Cantor, and Kevin McCarthy of California, nonetheless, versus Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer. So those 3 voted to defend the law. And Congressman Dan Lundgren, our former congressman, part of Sacramento's former congressman, actually was a chairman of one of the committees that appropriated money for that. That was one of his last acts. And had they not appealed the law, it's very unlikely it would have reached the Supreme Court, and we would not have this amazing decision. So thank you, Speaker Boehner.
You want to say that again with more feeling?
Thank you, Speaker Boehner, for giving us our rights. The Prop 8 decision, I was actually quite stunned that the court ruled 5-4 that the official proponents of Proposition 8 did not have standing. And as much as I don't like the official proponents of Proposition 8, I felt that because the California Supreme Court unanimously held that they did have standing under California law and that they were representing California's interests, because the whole point of the voter initiative system, like it or not, is to bypass the people in that house back there. So I was rather surprised that the Supreme Court ruled they didn't have standing. But the effect of that is that marriage equality will come back to California because the district court decision ruling it unconstitutional never should have been appealed. It will be reinstated. And the greatest aspect of these rulings is now that marriage equality in California is taken care of, now that DOMA is out of the way, and given the language of DOMA and how much Justice Kennedy slammed the discriminatory aspect of DOMA against same-sex couples, I don't see how any Defense of Marriage Act, be it state or federal, could possibly survive a constitutional challenge. This now frees up the LGBT community to start focusing on other issues, because marriage has kind of, taken center stage lately, but we have LGBT suicide at outrageous rates. We have severe trans inequality in employment, housing, and LGBT in general, but the trans community seems to severely face that. We have LGBT seniors who are facing discrimination in nursing homes, and there are so many more issues now that we can start tackling now that marriage equality finally seems to be coming into our lives.
Think this will supercharge ENDA this year?
I honestly doubt that, given that the Republicans control the House of Representatives. and we don't have 60 votes in the Senate. I honestly do not see ENDA passing this current term. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it, unfortunately. This is an amazing day, and we have never seen such a far-reaching, wide decision acknowledging our rights, affirming that we are equal, and recognizing the inequalities that we face. Today is a watershed moment, and I'm happy.
I can see that.